Today I'm going to do the second in a series of cards that I'm doing using designer series paper instead of cardstock as the base for our cards. So if you've missed the first one, you can go over this tutorial is already posted. It's a little bit longer than the card that I'm going to do today, but none of these are long cards because we're letting the cardstock do a lot of the work for us. So this one uses a window sheet, and you can see that you get to see both sides of the cardstock. Because you know when we use the designer series paper and you go to flip it over to put your adhesive on, you're like, oh, I love that. And it's the constant little battle as stampers that we do when we have to cover up one of the beautiful sides of our paper. So with these cards, you don't have to do that. So I'm going to use the Hostess set, Here Comes the Sun. And this month I am launching my new website. It looks a little bit similar to my old website because I've been using the blog page of what I am using now. So you might not notice an overall change, but if you're a part of my email list or on my Facebook group, then over the next few days, I will be like pointing out some of the new features of the website. And later on this month, Here Comes the Sun. It's a Hostess set, but I will be using it as a giveaway. So you will want to, if you love this card and you love this series of cards, then you'll want to watch out to see how you can win that. So today's card, if you watched the first tutorial, this one's even easier. So you will like that. Piece of ribbon left from my last one. So this is the piece of paper that I'm using. This designer series paper is from the Share What You Love, which is in the annual catalog. And more than likely, it will go away. We haven't seen the new catalog yet. Demonstrators will get to see it fairly soon, a couple weeks. But customers can't order from it till June 1st. So you will have a heads up if it's going to leave, because this paper is beautiful. But it is in the annual catalog now. And a lot of the pieces, it's a specialty series. So you can see this has some shimmer to it. So I'm going to use this piece, and you can see it's got leaves. So they go one direction. Obviously, then when you fold them, one of them is going to be upside down. So I've cut this. It's 4 by 8, so it's going to make a little note card. So you can see now these are going down. So you want this side to be your upside. So this is going to be the front of your card. So I'm going to pull my Big Shot up here. And I've got two framelits that I'm going to use. This is the scallop square. And I'm going to stick it on here and just put it on what's the front of my card. That's why I wanted to determine which way my leaves were going. Move it up here so you can see it. And of course, I do this every time, just like I say it all the time too, because I do it all the time. I put my Big Shot up on my table. It's not really backwards, but my handle, is over where you get, it's all the way over in the way. So I'm going to put this right here in the center, and it doesn't have to be, thankfully on this paper with all these leaves going, it's kind of an optical illusion, and these are scalloped squares, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not a OCD with my perfect measurements. If you are, you could get your grid paper out and measure it, and just one cut's fine, one pass through, because they're just a framelit. So it's going to give you this adorable little cut. So now we have this. And then the other framelit that I'm going to use is this circle, which over the course of working with this stamp set, I have discovered that I do not have the 2 1/4 inch circle punch. Or I have it and I have got it someplace with a project or just not in my punch area, which that does happen, but I don't think I have it. So if you have the 2 1/4 inch punch, you could use that with this stamp set as well. Get this lined up in here. So I'm going to run 2 of these through. Or if you had the punch, just punch 2. And you'll see why I need 2 in just a second. And again, just one pass through because they're framelits. And this is just Whisper White cardstock. So there's one. When your plates get dirty like mine are dirty, then sometimes this white cardstock with no stamping, it's obvious that it's leaving little pieces of the other colors of cardstock that get stuck. And you can see this is an old one and it says embossing only. But even though I write that on there, people use it for different things. And after a while, I'm like, well, it's not embossing only anymore. Okay, so now I have these two. And then this stamp set, let me show it to you again real quick if you haven't watched the other one. It has these like little round things, and then it's got the words that go through the middle. So on this one, I'm going to use the bottom, and it says what you go through. And I'm just going to use my black memento pad and do this bottom part first, where it says what you go through. Just line this up along the bottom. And then when you do the photopolymer, just pull them off carefully, and then you don't, sometimes if you rip them off, like it sprays kind of, I guess that's the word for it, like you get little lines of it. I need to leave my pad, I don't know what I'm doing. And then this says grow through. So it's going to end up saying grow through what you go through. But I wanted that little circle part on there first, because here's the honest truth, that's the easiest part to mess up. So if you're going to mess it up, you might as well mess it up on the first go before you stamp everything and then mess it up. So this is grow through what you go through. So this is a nice little pick-me-up note card for somebody. So we got that. And then the stamp set also comes with a lot of little pieces then that you can decorate your circles with. This has the sunshine from the card that I just did on the other video. And then I'm going to use these leaves. And then I think I said it in my other video. It's been a couple of days since I recorded it. The stamp set actually has flowers that look like they go with the paper, and I have not used those yet. That was why I pulled out the paper, because I thought it matched the stamp set. So here I've got this. So I've done 3 cards. I may do one more just so I can use the little flowers that match. And then I have a random assortment of blend colors, because none of the colors of blends appear to go with this paper very well. But we'll make them work. So I'm going to do my leaves first. And you can see the leaves on here. They're just kind of random colors. So you just want green leaves. And they're kind of darkish, and they're kind of like splattered around. So let's start with dark shaded spruce. And I'm just going to add a swish of color through of those. And they don't have to be perfect. Excuse me. This is light shaded spruce. I'm going to do so little coloring with the blends that I don't even need a piece of color of scrap paper in here, because it's not going to have time to bleed through. And then this is dark olive, I think, yeah. Just kind of squish that on here. And you can see this is more, I think it's probably Tranquil Tide, and we don't have that in a blend. So let's go to make it a little bit more, just kind of, you can see they're just kind of messy in colors on there. And it doesn't have to match perfect because it's your focal piece. So here's the inside, and so when we fold our thing over, now we have a pretty frame like this. So I wanted the paper, I didn't want it to be white, because I wanted it to match a little bit more of this. And again, I don't think, maybe this is Petal Pink. Maybe it is, I can't tell. This is the dark Petal Pink blend. Now I could get my catalog out and see what colors those actually are, but my blend stand's just here. And if you don't have a blend stand, I have lots of people, when mine makes an appearance in a video, ask where I got it, and my husband made me mine. But now Stampin' Up! Has storage solutions, and one of them is a blend stand. So you can be like me, and you can set your blends on the table and just make educated guesses on what color's in the paper, because your blends are here. But along with my, okay, here's the truth. My website went live. It was supposed to go, my husband's helping me, and bless his heart. It's been a hard slog. We've been working on it since October. And he told me it would be live some point during celebration. And then as March, came and it wasn't live, it did get close towards the end of March, and he was trying to get it up. And I'm like, at this point, let's not do it towards the end of celebration. Let's just wait and do it April 1st. So it did go live last night, and I went to post something this morning, and I can't add any new images. So the first of this thing went up, and I was going to do the new storage things, but I can't add any new images. I don't know what's wrong with it to the website. So Stampin' Up! Does have storage solutions, and I will have some specials this month that coordinate with the storage solutions. So you can get some free blends if you buy the storage solutions. So I've taken the square that I punched out or ran through the thing, and I've just flipped it catty corner. So now you can see as you close it, it gives you a little window. I don't have to use window sheets like I used on my first one. As you open it, you'll have that little thing up there. And then here's my extra circle that I ran out, because when you do a card like this, it's beautiful. And it's oh so beautiful, but where do you write? And I know some of you like that because you don't like to write a lot in your cards. So this is not going to give you a lot of space to write, but just take your second circle and just stick it right here in the middle. And then you can't see it, but then when you open it, you do have a spot to write. And it kind of carries through this theme of the little medallion here. So we're going to take some of the white tulle ribbon, because you know I'm making a card, so how can I not? Actually, on the first card I did not. Are you proud of me? I did a card and I didn't put tulle on it. And it wasn't even because it was at that stage where I thought I was out. So I'm going to do a double loop here. I want to make sure it's long enough, so I'm going to do a little bit more. Because always better to have a little bit more and have to trim off an inch than not have enough. So maybe that long, and I've doubled it over, and you'll see why in a second. So trim this. And then just pull this around, and then this loop right here, pull all of this through here. After I'm done with this little series of these super simple cards, I have a card that is not simple by any stretch of the imagination coming up. So if simple cards aren't your thing, you just hang on, because I have a card where you're going to need your Stamparatus, where you are going to need your Big Shot, where you are going to need your Stamparatus to actually use your Big Shot. Okay, so here I've got this. It's got pretty much every technique that you could. We're going to use brushes. We're going to use shimmer paint. It is not a simple card, but it's beautiful. It's a really, really pretty card. So I'm going to tie one bow here, because, you know, this is a card to cheer somebody up, so you want it to be pretty. So I'm going to tie one giant bow here. Maybe. This is sticking to my sweater. There we go. So you can see when this tool, when you pull it, it sticks to itself, and it also kind of shrinks, but you just pull it, like pull it back out. So we've got that, kind of pull that tight. And now because you've got, it's pulled tight and kind of thin, just hold it there with your thumb and then tie another bow. And this is going to give you a little bit of a thicker ribbon. And it doesn't need to be giant because it is a 4x4 card, but this will make it fluffy. There we go. So then you can kind of pull these out. And then you can just kind of work it back, because you'll have to open these back up now where they've kind of squished on themselves. And it doesn't take long. In fact, in my other one, I cut them apart. So let's cut them apart. It's been like a week since I made these cards. We have a demonstrator event coming up that really has been occupying my time. We have a big demonstrator event, and then two days after that, one of my demonstrators is going to Onstage in North Carolina and will be visiting us, and she's having her new stuff delivered here. So I've got two events that I'm working at the same time, and it's spring break. So last week was spring break with my nephews who are little, so we did little guy stuff, and this week my daughter, who's a teacher, she was on spring break last week too, but she's a teacher, so she's also back in school for her master's. So she was busy last week, but this week she's not busy. So today is spring break with her and one of my nieces who's in college. So we're going to do some girl stuff, and we're going out to lunch to a place that you don't take little boys to lunch. So last week we did lunch with boys and did boy things, and today we're going to do some girl stuff. So, you know, sometimes you get in those crazy stages. So the reason I wanted to do this little split here, I'll show you. Put your adhesive here on your little medallion, and then just stick this. I love this ribbon that it's see-through. And so here it just kind of adds a little bit of see-through to it. So then you can sign your card in here. You have a little place to sign it. The ribbon's it's a nice fluffy ribbon, but it's not like overpowering the card. But it is, it's nice and spring and festive, and it's tulle because, you know, I'm so afraid the tulle ribbon's gonna go away. Please don't take it away, Stampin' Up, because I love it. So here's the second card. Here's the one I made. Actually, I think I've made like 4 of these now because I've done it on a Facebook Live. And if you follow me on Facebook, it has been a couple of weeks now that I've done a Facebook Live for my regular. I've done them on the demonstrator part, but not regular because spring break, you know, I work from home a million hours a week because I'm a mean boss. But I work from home so I can enjoy my family. So right now we're in family time, and I'm also in demonstrator mode, which that doesn't overtake my customer mode a lot, but right now I am in demonstrator mode, working with my demonstrator team. So, but here's the second, and I do at least have one more. I'm going to try to get the third so I can use little flowers here because the next one is going to be the mountains. So some more of a guy theme. So this is a really, really fun set if you haven't used it yet. But I hope you like that. And at some point, I will get the pictures on my website when I can get pictures back on my website. Kind of important in my line of work to have pictures on a website. So have a great day. Bye.